If you've been in crypto like myself for the last few years, sometimes you get a lot of drama in crypto, get a lot of hype, get a lot of excitement, and all type of things be happening. So Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, formerly worked at Ethereum, was talking that stuff today. Very interesting. We're definitely going to dive in deep and cover what he was talking about and comparing Cardano, other blockchains to Ethereum. Also, we're going to dive in real deep for those who don't really know about Cardano and highlight some of the new updates that will set it apart from the rest of the cryptocurrency blockchains. Welcome back to the channel. My name is C. Will, and this is the Passive Income Network. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment and say, what's good? All right, let's get started. What sets Cardano apart? Built on peer-reviewed research. That means it is community-built and community-led, founded by Charles Hoskinson, former Ethereum dev, powered by energy-efficient POS. So that's proof of stake. Staking secures the network. Bitcoin is mined crypto, right? Proof of work. That's where the miners come in. Then you got supported by a global open source community. That's facts. So a lot of people are contributing, is resilient, and is a decentralized governance. So this is something, if you want to dive in deeper, definitely go to the CardanoFoundation.org. The blog is pretty dope. But those are a few points that sets Cardano apart from the Bitcoins, from the Ethereums, a few other blockchains out there. So OG. Now, let's talk about the new identity platform called Viridian. This is very interesting to me. This is something that is happening more in crypto. It's digital ID, how to use blockchain to verify identities when using different platforms or systems. So building trust, empowering identity, and securing the future with open source protocol software, quantum secure cryptography, privacy regulation compliance, global interoperability, Web3C compliance, enterprise grade scalability, secure private key storage. This is all stuff right here that you can use in disaster relief. You can use for banking, different type of educational infrastructure, sportings. The list goes on. And I know a lot of enterprises like Google, the UN, all of them are thinking about digital IDs. And this has been a conversation that's been out for a while. So Cardano has put itself out there and they dropped Viridian. So here's some key advantages of the Viridian wallet. You get decentralized control, right? You have post-quantum security, because remember, quantum computers will be coming very soon. Next 5 or 10 years, they should be able to crack all type of systems. So you got to have defense for that. Verifiable data provenance. Protect business value chains at every step with tailored privacy-preserving credentials. Securely control data provenance with powerful delegated authority. You need that. Then you have global interoperability. Empower verifiable data across industries, frameworks, and environments without rebuilding production systems. Then you got full transparency. Public permissionless infrastructure and open source protocols provide verifiable, auditable trust. Cost efficient. We all know what that means, and we like that. So this is definitely very interesting. You'll be hearing a lot more about this from other blockchains as well. The building blocks of your digital identity. So you got identifiers, your digital identity with rules. Create and manage unique digital identifiers with KERIs. Decentralized, as carries decentralized open source protocol for self-sovereign identity. Take back control from third parties with Viridian. Secure, verifiable, and private. Trusted relationships, seamless interactions. So again, y'all, This is dope. They got a nice graphic, end user, the wallet, the tunnel, cloud agent, blockchain, Cardano, and then credential management system. But definitely, like when we're thinking about like disaster relief, you get an earthquake somewhere, like we've seen recently in a few places around the world. You got to have different ways that people can access money, access resources, especially in developing economies. Other countries, like in Colombia, they were using a COVID passport. They're talking about these type of things in India with different women and workers. It is happening, and Cardano is putting itself right in the middle by creating its own verified wallet and digital identity. So I'm excited to see what else happens from that. And then they break down a whole bunch of use cases, ballots. I'm thinking that's going to happen with voting very soon. But let's move on to the next update. USDM by Moneta, Cardano's premier fiat-backed stablecoin. Moneta is building USDM, an essential tool for Cardano. USDM serves as a base asset for decentralized finance, DeFi, my favorite, decentralized finance protocols, and enables instant on-chain payments, accelerating the growth and adoption of the entire Cardano ecosystem. USDM is backed one-to-one by USD bank deposits and money market funds managed by BlackRock and Western Asset Management, ensuring stability and security for all users. Anytime I hear BlackRock involved in one of these situations, I can't help to be like, hey, this legitimizes it. It makes it more secure, and it makes me get bullish for when BlackRock's behind something. So, you know, it's hard not to pay attention to what BlackRock is doing. But what makes USDM unique? Fiat-backed stability, on-chain proof of reserves. I think I really like that. And that was the issue with USDT. You don't know what the reserves really look like. You got seamless Cardano integration, very good for their blockchain. Capital efficiency for DeFi. That's a lot of liquidity and decentralization. And then you got decentralizes DEX. Saw the Cardano DEX is there. And then they have a commitment to regulation. Moneta is fully compliant with financial regulations. Obviously, BlackRock operating as a registered entity under the FinCEN and pursuing further licensing in the U.S. and other jurisdictions. KYC and AML, strict adherence to KYC and AML guidelines ensures compliance with financial regulators. And then USD in the media. So listen, you got the verified digital ID wallet, a stable coin. You know, Cardano's cooking right now. It's cooking. And then this is what I thought was kind of funny. Charles Hoskinson does this stream, and then they ask him about Ethereum. So let's see what he had to say. We'll watch a few minutes of this.
If you were running the Ethereum Foundation, what would you do differently in a broad sense? Well, the number one problem Ethereum has is that they took an easy road out where they did three things wrong. So first off, wrong protocols. They have the wrong accounting model, they have the wrong virtual machine, and they have the wrong consensus model. All of these were self-inflicted wounds. People told them not to do it. They did it, and they got where they needed to go. Second, what they chose to do to solve these problems is put in all these weird slashing economics and layer twos and other things. And now they're living with all of the consequences of these types of things. And third, they really don't have a good on-chain governance system. So really what needs to happen is you need a parallel track with solving all those three things. First off, you have to solve your technological problem. So the current protocol they have for proof of stake is wrong, and they need to wean themselves off of that protocol gradually. And I think Ouroboros Leos, this whole telescoping protocol design is the way to go. And there are certainly other ways you can go, but I think the object model of SWI would be probably the best model for them. SWI solved a lot of things. Narwhal and Tusk is good. The dev model's not so bad. I think it is good to go to RISC-V. That's a really good decision for Vitalik to make. It makes a lot of sense. But the accounting model also has to be kind of revised a little bit. And that's why the SWE style approach is better. If you want to stay on accounts, you have to move to like Anomia. You have to do intents. And something like RISC-V with intents with an object model like SWE probably would fit their ecosystem quite well. And then Narwhal and Tusk style consensus is probably good enough for them, because they'll always be somewhat centralized with that. And then they have to, second path, build an on-chain government so they actually can solve all these crazy problems with upgrading the system and rallying people and coordinating people. And then they have to find a way to have the layer twos not be parasitic.
So basically, he like the governance model's not going. You got too many layer twos. The stuff behind the scenes ain't working. Upgrades are harder. SWE is better. People like the SUI. Basically, he's like, Cardano has it figured out. It's completed. And a few other blockchains. Ethereum ain't it. Ethereum will not last another 10 years. And I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I use Base blockchain as well. It's a layer 2 of Ethereum. I like Base way better. You know, people use Optimism. You got the Polygon. You got the Arbitrum. There's a lot of blockchains out there that is trying to scale Base. And personally, I don't think that's a good look either. Ethereum is only good for holding. And if you've been looking at the price, it ain't been that good as well. Very interesting. Cardano is like, hey, come to Cardano. He sounded like Suge Knight. Come to Cardano. Very interesting. So yeah, big shout out to Charles Hoskinson. He been cooking, and so has the rest of the Cardano team. Again, y'all, this is looking very good. Will Cardano reach a top 5 by 2025? That's the question I have for y'all. Make sure you leave some comments in the chat below. Until the next time, y'all. Peace. Passive income. Gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals. Told my girl it was simple.